James is terrible. He's always pointing out my mistakes. Thank you, James. Had the printer plugged in instead of the USB. I mean, I've got about 20 billion USB ports on this machine. But, yes, I am a great mime. Thank you, James. Thank you. Yes, printing off postage labels this morning. 3 little postage labels for 3 little sales. What? Going out of focus now. If it's not the audio, it's the visual. Let's get a bit of light on the situation. There we go. I'm back in the room. Right. So I was saying it's not been a good week for me on eBay. Been helping other people with other bits and bobs. Focus pulled all over the place. And even the start of this week hasn't been great. I've got like 3 days to make up for it. But this is for the period week number 4, which is from Friday the 29th. Let me get this right. I've just got that wrong. It's from Friday the 22nd to Thursday the 28th. And I was saying, James, why don't you send your numbers in? Send a little, how many you've listed, how many you've sold. We've lost a couple of people. From last season, from last year. Very sad that they go. You don't have to, of course. But those who have, thank you very much. It's always what I like is I'm not too interested. Numbers are interesting, but I'm interested how you're doing. That's what I'm interested in. Walking the dog close to the lakes. Oh, I do like the lakes. It's Lake District. I've been to the Lake District when I first was going out with Liz, one of our first holidays. Yes, I was the wrong side of Coniston Lake, apparently. Hello, Ben. Hello, Neil. Tommy, can you hear me? Hear me? Hi, Ian. Yes. Right, should we get on? Okay, no worries. No worries. A lot going on. Well, this is me this week. A lot going on. Not a lot of eBay done. So let's get me out of the way. Skip over. Let's skip over the useless person. I've got to present. I've got to share screen. I've got to do that. And I've got to do that. So I'm going to whiz through so you can all get back on with your work. That sounds good, doesn't it? Like I say, the printer has been on because I've got all my orders packed and out of the way, so I've got a free day at it. And I'm hoping to get a decent bit of listing done. So last week, I'm trying to aim for at least 10 a day, and I had about 4 or 5 days where I didn't list anything because I was just doing other stuff. Such is life. 26 listed. I'm a terrible eBay player. You all knew that, of course. No, like I say, I'm not going to beat myself up about it because the sales have been great. Return on investment, fantastic. So as long as you know when you need to make up your stuff, it's difficult because you really should be listing for Q4. But for me, that week was unavoidable. And, I had to help. My services were required elsewhere. Ben, finally started listing again after a couple of months. No motivation. Yeah, motivation can get you. So one item straight away. Motivation back. Yeah, I've sold an item today for £112, which I won't turn my nose up at. I was kind of like, do I accept, do I not? Because it was on for 130. I've been sending offers for 10% off, which takes it down to 118. I messaged reseller I know. It's always good just to get that kind of like sounding board, isn't it? And he's like, sell it. I use a sounding board. I use the chat. So you always say sell it. You were saying sell it yesterday. Right, Luke, local reseller. He's always listing around about sort of like 60. What's he done this week? 50. He's having an easy week. He sold 57. No, the flow is going through his store. Yeah, not bad with the sales numbers and all good profits. I'm big on that really. Even though this year I am actually taking less ROI to try and increase the amount I source and sell through. Hello, Jack Dobbins has mentioned me in a story. What's he playing at? Picturing while listening to the sales of the unexpected. Well, he says he's listening to me. The first bit, he wouldn't be listening to me because there was absolutely no sound. Nisho soundo. Right, let's get on to everyone else. AC. I would think it's ACL, but it's not. It's AC. What does the AC stand for? Is it Alan? Is it Arnold? Not miss. He says busy week away from the old reselling, same as me, exactly the same as me. Didn't get as many listed as I would have liked. Well, we can all, relate to that. So 20 listed, 16 sold. There you go. You do. It is a roller coaster. The thing to do is not get back in the groove, get out of the funk, get back in the groove. So there we go. Alison, Ali Mac. She always likes to do a good amount of stuff. Right. This is interesting and good. Listed 29, sold 87. It's all about the selling, isn't it, eBay? It's all about the selling. And what she's actually been doing, even though this looks like, she's had her feet up, she hasn't had her feet up. She's been focusing on old listings and titles and pictures and heavily reduced the prices. The stuff that's stuck in the pipe, she's wedged it out. Did a sale similar on 400 listings. So it's like she had a real focus on it. I try and look at 10 a day. But when I'm aware that I've missed a few days, I might do 50 in one day. Sell similar, reduce the price by 5%, have a little look around. So there we go. And she's also donated stuff to the local job site. I should do, but it kind of irks me to do that. My impressions have gone through the roof, and this will happen if you look at. I'm not a big fan of promotions. I kind of fair enough to those who do promotions. Promotions to me are the lazy alternative to reviewing your listings on a regular basis. Hope I haven't offended anyone. If you do promotions, that's fine. Promotions, I think, would be good for multi-quantity items where there's a lot of them on eBay to bring yourself out from the crowd. And if everybody else is doing promotions, you race to the bottom, I think. 75% conversion rate. Yeah, definitely. I thought it would be. It's Andy. Well done, Andy. Looks like you're on it anyway. Die. What's he been up to? Whoop. There we go. Die always tells me some things he's sold, which is quite nice. He's listed 39. He's sold 30. He says there's no big sales, but there's still some good sales there. It's £55 Roberts radio. So, like, if there were 30 sales at £50 each, that's £1,500 for the week. That's not bad, is it? But anyway, so £55 Roberts Wi-Fi radio. We need a DAB radio. Apparently, Liz is like going a bit nuts because I think her radio stations that she listens to, which I think are the one with Simon Mayo on and Classic FM, they're going to DAB Plus only. And about 3 months ago, she bought a DAB radio. She's not a happy person at the moment. Anyway, I digress. £44 golf clubs. All the other stock is under £35. The stock is getting low as hasn't managed to build up stock during the summer. Yeah, I do know that feeling. And a lot of boot has been called off. It's wet in Wales, apparently. It always is. So So not a lot of boot fairs been going on, and the charity shops are a waste of time. That is something I saw very early on, probably around about 4 years ago. And a lot of people said when I was sort of moaning about the charity shops in South London that, they're all right here. Oh, you've just got to find the odd one. Da, da, da. And yeah, granted, if you go to hospice or little ones or get a contact, you may be okay. But generally, it was going to be untenable. I used to go to charity shops, spend like hundreds of pounds, come back with a boot full of clothes, and that was going to like cancer research and Oxfam and all the high street ones. Not anymore, not even worth the time. But there we go. Richard, always good to get Richard's numbers. He's a lister and a half. He's listed 70. He's sold 59. And he's finding this motivating to get stuff listed, which is fantastic news. I'm very pleased that this is motivating you. And for me, I find the other numbers interesting, but it's my own numbers that motivate me. Listing numbers this week will likely be down. So this is the next week's numbers because he's away for a few days. But he's hopefully selling at a boot fair next weekend. So he's got a day sorting all his stuff. Then back to the listing for quarter four. Yes, indeed. Back to the listing for quarter four. That's what it's all about. Robin, 22nd to the 28th. Numbers for the 22nd to the 28th. This feels a bit like the Eurovision. List 32, sold 10. It managed to slightly improve on your numbers compared to the previous weeks, which you're happy with, which is fantastic. So you've got to be happy doing this. Just want to keep improving on number each week. Yeah, just a little improvement. Since I've been reselling, I've never come into reselling and gone, boom, I'm going to be the best reseller ever. I want to be a six-figure reseller. Blah, 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 blah. No. I'm too much of a realist, I think. As long as I have gradual improvement, year on year, and remain happy doing it, that's all I can ask out of it, really. One of my sales was £100, and the item cost £0. Love it. Wonder what it was. A golden egg. Who knows? Promotions, I think, are required for highly competitive markets. Yes, exactly. Phone covers used to be the obvious one. Try to get a decent price in those markets. Yeah, they're for getting you noticed in the crowd, definitely. But my stuff, it's not really. I mean, I kind of think what would be the one thing that I might need a promotion on. It might be a Wii or a PS2, but not really. Like I say, if it was phones, I think. I'm trying to think what else. Maybe clothing, because so many people do it. I don't know. I don't know, but not good for me. I'm not really, not really too fussed if people do. One thing that always kind of like makes me laugh is whenever you sort of see promotions, people will always post the impressions graph, but it's the sales and the profit that you've really got to analyze. So what if it's anyway? I've been there before, so I won't carry on moaning about that. Cop. Oh, this is good. This is to the point. Listed 42, sold 22. Definitely need to raise my game. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, I need to raise my game too. So Jack's in. Has he raised his game? Has he lowered his game? It's the last one on this list. Is Faye and Simon. They've listed, and again, this is brilliantly to the point. And, if you can realise where you've had a bad week quickly, go, and think, what do I do? Oh, no, let's list a thing. And let's list another thing. And let's list another thing. Then, halfway there. So listed 21, sold 25. Keeping it real. Yeah, I appreciate that. And they say they've run out of stuff to list. Well, they will have no problem. They will do a road trip and just go and source all sorts of stuff, all sorts of those breakables that they love. And I imagine they're busy on Amazon as well. They'd be for quarter four, be going Amazon crazy. Pete Retro. Listed 27, sold 33. And again, he says, it's not brilliant. Good that you recognise it. Got bogged down with other eBay filler junk. Sorting, testing, similar. It can hold you back sometimes. You know, sometimes you have to realise where your time's being drained. And you have to go, like, no, I'll just leave that. It's like the whole weighing up. Do I try and fix this? Is it going to take too much time? Do I sell it on spares repairs? Always difficult to judge sometimes. Always difficult to judge. Thank you, Pete. Wonderful. Here he is. Jack Dobbins. Has he listed nothing this week? No, he's had a great week. He's on the ball for quarter four. 362, and I was thinking about that. It's 362. That's over 50 a day. So it's probably like, what's that? It's like 52 a day or something around that mark. 52 a day. I'm going to assume it's the easiest thing that Jack lists. He probably has done some, you know, and I'm talking about media games, console games, and I imagine there will be. He'll probably tell us in a minute, but I imagine there will be some like computer games accessories and some more difficult stuff to list. But let's just assume that he's doing 50 listings of games of, you know, this sort of thing. Probably hasn't got that game. 50 a day. How long would it take? So say if they're already all polished up, how long would that take to list? So the photos could probably be done in 30 seconds. I doubt whether he's doing one with it loaded on the console. You know, so 30 seconds for the photo. The listing could take. I'm going to say 5 minutes. 5 minutes per listing, and that is probably. I imagine Jack doing it, bomb, and it's probably quite long. It's maybe shorter than that, but let's just say 5 minutes. So 50 listings a day, every day for the last week. 5 minutes a listing. That's 250 minutes. So that is at least 4 hours, like let's say 4.5 hours work, solid. Okay. And not only that, it's 250 sales. So again, how long does it take? Let's say 5 minutes to go bump in the thing, and that's probably like overdoing it, but got the printer, and you got to go to the post office. Let's say 5 minutes for that. So 4.5 hours for the listing, 3 hours, let's just say, you know, roughly for the solds. That's 7.5 hours work, roughly every day. And it could be longer than that, could be shorter than that. It's just a ballpark figure. So, you know, it goes that he's got great supply coming in. He's got his process, obviously cleaning the discs. You've got to factor all that in, polishing the discs, investigating the stuff, getting it on. Yeah, you know, you're looking at around about 7-8 hours a day every day. Now, I don't know, Jack, you tell me, do you have like set times you work? Because I know you very much treat it like a job. Do you go like, 6 o'clock, I'm off? Like, what time do you start in the morning? Do you have regular times for this sort of thing? Let me know. But they're great numbers. They're great numbers. Everybody always, you know, looks at that. And I'll say this every week, but I always look at the work and the consistency of the work, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, inspirational, definitely, and yes, he mentioned yesterday on the Old List 5 Live. He did get a 1K day because there was a 60 quid that came in at 3 a.m. I say that's done. So he works between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. and then finish anything off. Oh, well, that's nice actually, because you're saying that your time between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. is your time, your family time. You got a young boy or young girl, and I imagine that is a good time if they're coming back from a play group or a school or whatever. It's that time to dedicate to them. I do it. I will stop when the boys come in from school, which is kind of like, it can be 4, can be 5. I will take a good couple of hours just to sort of be with them, and it's not really. I might come back for a bit, and then after dinner, after help clearing up, I might do a bit later on. But it really is. I normally start around about 8ish, and like I say, I'd probably go through to about 4, something like that. So yeah, that's good to see. Thanks, Jack. Great numbers. Right. How long have I been on? 22 minutes. I think that'll do. Again, get your numbers in for next week. Thank you so much for sending them in. I've got to pull my finger out, really, because the start this week, there were a few days where I didn't list anything. So let's see if I can get up to 70. I think if I get to 50, I'll be happy. But we'll keep cracking on. Hope you all have a brilliant listing week. And I will see you next Monday for the List 5 Live. Take care, everyone. Take it easy. Oh, got the breakdown. Look at that. The full breakdown. Cheers. See you later.